So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing from. I'm Laura Thompson with TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. And we're here today with a phenomenal pioneer and community advocate and activist, T.C. Calvert. He is a phenomenal man. He's done phenomenal work in this community, and he's still doing work. It's
Thank you very much.
it's like unbelievable that he's dedicated his entire life to service
Thank
and
you.
committed to this community.
Thank you.
So, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. First of all, let me compliment you, and I followed your mom for a long time when she was at Riley. She was an outstanding educator and community leader, and we really miss her. And I know you miss her.
Before we get started with the interview, could you just give us a little background information on who you are, what you do, why
Well,
you
basically, I'm been in activism for ever since I was a teenager.
Wow.
Started dealing with community stuff in high school. What happened is that we had a dress code issue over at Brackenridge High School. They didn't
Wow.
want people to have sideburns or wear mini dresses. So I got baptized in activism at a very early age. The students drafted me to make sure that we could have sideburns and wear bell bottoms and
Wow.
mini dresses and stuff like that. So my activism goes way back then. But it kind of like started to, my father was a truck driver.
Wow.
And we stopped at a truck stop in Sealy, Texas, Laura. And back then, the black truck drivers had to go to the back. And I actually went in the front.
Wow.
And then the waitress said, "Little nigger boy,
Mm.
you can't come in here. You got to
Wow.
go around to the back
Wow.
with all the other nigger truck drivers." I said, "Ma'am, I just want a hamburger and a Coke." She says, "I don't give a damn. You get out of here." And the
Wow.
place was packed
Wow.
with all these big burly truck drivers, and I was crushed and hurt. So my activism was sparked way back then in Sealy, Texas, at that truck stop. So that's where my passion comes from, because I saw that there was injustice being done.
Wow. So what an amazing insight that you had as a well, not a child, but
Well, I
As
was
a-
a child.
as
I was
a-
a
as
young child.
as
I
a
was still in
teenager.
elementary school.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to realize that, that's major discrimination, that's a big deal.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a God thing.
Yes, ma'am.
God calls you to do the things that you've done and that you're continuing to do.
Thank you.
So, so where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, but my parents, they were all from the Cameron, Texas area, Round Rock, Austin area. But as a child, all my aunts and uncles always wanted to take care of me. So they wanted me to come stay with them in California. So I lived in L.A. for a little
Wow.
while. I lived in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma City, because every summer they wanted to take care of me. So I got a lot of education about different cities back then. So, but San Antonio was my home.
Wow.
I went to William B. Travis Elementary. I went to Emerson, Mark Twain,
Okay.
Brackenridge, San Antonio College.
Okay.
So most of my education right here in San Antonio, Texas.
Wow. And most of it is just God's gift.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
God's gift. Wow. So, so you were a prodigy child. That's why everybody wanted to be around you. They said they fought over TC to come to their city to live, to hang out with him in the summer.
It was great. It was great. Great
So,
experience.
yeah, he's got favor. He still has favor over him.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the Martin Luther King Commission.
Yes, ma'am.
And your involvement in it. And even before the Martin Luther King Commission was established, you were involved.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about
Well,
those things?
I'll just be very candid with you. I was the nuts and bolts guy.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know that it takes a lot of time and energy to put together a major event like that, because you got to think public safety first. So I had to deal with the police department. I had to deal with the fire department. I had to deal with city managers, city officials. I was the guy, ladies and gentlemen, that dealt with the staging, the sound, the logistics, and the production of the event. When you're doing an event with thousands of people, you got to think public safety first. And I hope the young people that are listening to this now, that they need to think public safety first. And it takes a lot of time and energy. Even though we were volunteers, it's a lot of man hours. that go into putting an event like this together. You know, you got to make sure every screw is right, every the stairways are right going to the staging. You got to make sure the sound is right. You got to make sure you have enough police. One year, Laura, we had some people that defaced the statue. You remember they threw the paint on the statue. So Mario Salas and I and Rick Green and some of the members of the SNCC and the Neighborhood First Alliance and the local Black Panther chapter, we spent the night up there. That's when Constable Marshall was still alive.
Wow.
So we didn't really have a lot of support back then from SAPD, San Antonio Police Department. We had more support from the Constable Marshall, so Constable Marshall would help us, you know, watch and do the security for an event like this. Security is very important when you're doing, because you see what we live in a society today. People could come in with cars, with guns or whatever. So security has to be a major concern when you're doing an event like this. And you just have to do that. You just have to do it. It's very important. You have to work very closely. I have to say this to the young people that are coming behind us. You got to work very closely with the police department to make sure you have security and stuff. To do an event like this, it takes thousands of dollars. It's not cheap.
Wow.
It takes a lot of money. So I did help also raise money to pay for, you know, sound and staging and some of the speakers that came in to the march. But a lot of people want to know. They want to know who is the person who moved the march from the Martin Luther King Plaza to Pittman Sullivan. Well, yours truly, I'm responsible for that.
Okay.
So a lot of people do know it, and a lot of people don't know it.
I did not know.
So yeah, I'm responsible for that. Let me tell you why. Most of you know, in that plaza area, liquor is easily accessible from the stores and the places in that area. Dr. King, when he marched, they didn't have 40 ounces and 60 ounces and people drinking. And so one of the reasons the march was changed to Pittman Sullivan is because of the influence of alcoholic beverages in the area. So that's why we moved it to Pittman Sullivan Park. So if you know, you have an element. There is an element, and y'all know who they are. Some of them are the vendor people. Yeah, I said it. They want alcohol to be sold at the Martin Luther King March. Dr. King was not about alcohol. And the Martin Luther King March shouldn't turn into a fiesta event. So you have those elements, Ms. Thompson, who want to turn it into a fiesta event. The march was always about the issues. The march grew because of the issues. Whatever the issues were of the day, that's why the march is as big as it is now. I had gay groups call me, Hispanic groups call me. They said, Mr. Calvert, are the ministers going to get mad at us if we come in march? And I said, no, they're not. I said, just come on, bring your signs, and just make sure you march about the issues of the day. And they did, and that's why the march has grown. It's always been about the issues.
Right, and about inclusivity.
That's right. And so that's how the march grew. It always was about the issues.
Wow.
And it's still about the issues today. So I say that to the young people because some people want to turn MLK into a fiesta event, and we can't allow that to happen.
Well, you know, I don't know if you knew, but your name was a household name in our home. Just like Martin Luther King, my dad would always talk about you and,
Yes,
and the things that you did.
Well, you came from a
in the
great family,
community.
and I missed them. They were great people. I think we worked with them when it was Nebraska Street to turn Nebraska into Martin Luther King. Riley was Riley Middle School, which is now Martin Luther King. So your parents, along with Reverend Callis, along with Arlington and the members of the Callis family, were some of the people that we worked with back then. I basically, like I said, I was the grunt guy. Somebody had to deal with logistics. And I just want people to know I was a logistics guy.
Well, you had the experience. You did take pride in the East Side.
Well,
for
I had the
many
experience
years.
because I was a concert promoter.
Yes.
And because I was a concert promoter and worked in with Hispanic radio and worked with a lot of major producers and been on road with some of the major acts of the day, that experience came in handy. But I had a good team. So, you know, you got to have a good team. You got to have a good production team. I mean, I can name off a lot of people that you and I know that helped make that event success. So, you know, I had good sound and production people. I had good security people. It just, I mean, it's just so many great names of people that were a part of the process.
Wow. Well,
I mean, hundreds. I'm not talking about a dozen people.
Right.
We're talking about over 100 or more volunteers
Wow.
that helped put this event on.
Wow. Because it's huge. It's huge.
Yes.
So I remember my dad. I don't know what was happening because I was a little kid.
Yes, ma'am.
But my dad, he said, we're going to hear T.C. Calvert. And so you were on a panel, and I don't know what they were building or what was happening, but you were saying, you know, we don't want a piece of the pie. We want all of the pie
Well,
if it's going to be on the east side. And I'm like, why is he talking about pie?
well, because the pie has not always gone to our community, and it still doesn't today.
Absolutely.
You know, when you talk about, you know, building arenas and doing this and that, we have to make sure that our people are at the table. You know, you just can't nickel and dime us. We support this community. We pay taxes in this community. We're not asking for a handout. We're basically asking people to give our contractors and our vendors, Ms. Thompson, opportunity. And we don't get those opportunities. And we still have what we call them professional blockers. You still have professional blockers at the city government, at the county government, at the state government, who they only give the contracts, y'all don't hear me talking, to their relatives, to their aunts and their uncles and their friends. And so we're always left out. And they try to say, well, San Antonio doesn't have the capacity.
Yeah, we do.
We do have the capacity.
Yeah. And if not, train them.
Well, and guess what? We got capacity. We're part of the Austin corridor. We got businesses in Austin. We got businesses in Houston. But San Antonio, Texas does have the capacity to do the kind of work that needs to be done on some of these government contracts.
Wow. And so that was one of the things that Martin Luther King fought for, is economic equity.
Excellent. You're absolutely correct. Besides voting rights, economic parity was a very important issue with Dr. King.
Wow. So
still is today.
Absolutely.
With all the people that have come behind him.
So what are some of your fondest memories about working with the commission?
Well, I think one of my fondest memories of working with the commission is when you're going up that hill and you turn around and look back, you get goosebumps. When you get up there by Our Lady of Perpetual Help, right there at the corner of Clark and Martin Luther King, you turn around and you look back and you say, wow.
There's a lot of people.
I had something to do with this. So it gives you goosebumps. It gives you a feeling. And the other thing, Laura, that I love is that everybody is peaceful. Even the gang members. We told the gang members one year we deputized them. We said, look, remember when we were having all the drive-by shootings? We said, look, we're deputizing you guys. You guys are going to help us keep the peace. You know, because we had that blood.
The blood and
Crips thing going on. So we met with those guys at the David Scott YMCA with Brother Charles Shannon and Donald McClure and people like that. And we told them, look, we cannot have the largest march in the world upset by somebody shooting at somebody because he looked at him wrong or stepped on his feet because he had a blue color on or a red color. So that to me was one of the fondest moments when we can get our people to have peace on that day. But we need to have it not on just that day. We need to have it all year round.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's a great parallel. I know people always said that history repeats itself.
That's true.
And so I really didn't, at the time, you know, I was younger, they were saying, oh, that's happened before, history repeats itself. So today, you know, is a testament that the things that are going on today in our country is a testament that history is repeating itself.
Yeah.
And the civil rights movement, you know, needs to be stronger and needs to continue.
Exactly.
And so that's why T.C. Calvert continues his work.
Thank you.
Because he sees the necessity to ensure that, you know, everybody gets a piece of the pie.
It's one thing I think people need to realize, Laura, with this interview is that your vote is like a weapon. Your vote is your Tomahawk missile. Your vote is your machine gun. Your vote is your shotgun. And so your vote is your weapon. And so young people who are viewing this program and people who are viewing this program need to understand vote is a very powerful thing because a lot of people have won elections by one vote.
Wow.
So the vote is important. So at the MLK March and during the MLK March, we need to make sure that we're focused on voter registration. We've been doing voter registration ever since Reverend Callis got involved. We got involved with Reverend Callis and his son. We told him, look, we just want to continue the voter registration. And so the Neighborhood First Alliance, along with the Bexar County Voting Rights Coalition, Southwest Voter Education, the NAACP, we all come together for the march to register people to vote. And guess who we target at the march? We target young people. Wherever the young people are gathered, if they're gathered over Church's Chicken, we've told people, go to Church's Chicken and let's register people to vote. So if you see our people out there with clipboards or whatever, registering people to vote, be nice to them because they're volunteers. And so it's important that we register as many people as we can at the MLK March. A lot of the older people that come to the march are already registered to vote, but a lot of those young people are not.
Wow.
Yeah.
So T.C. Calvert, again, he's a phenomenal leader, has been for many, many years. And I just want to ask you one additional question. What keeps you going?
Well, by the grace of God, it's always God. I put God first. I put my trust in God. And, you just got to believe. And you got to have trust and continue to walk by faith and not by sight. And everything's going to be all right.
All right. He's the most charismatic fighter that I've ever met in my life.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you. And say hi to all your members and all your schoolmates and everybody. And let's do this again sometime.
Okay, we will. We
All
got
right.
a lot to talk about.